Habari ya mchana, jina langu ni Adam Real, karibuni Punchline Philosophy. Asanteni sana kwa kusikiliza au kutazama kwenye YouTube. Okay, yeah, this is our last day in Kenya, me and the wonderful Tim Haigh. So.
Hello, here we are.
And goddamn it, I don't want to leave.
No, you have to drive me kicking and screaming back to the airport.
Oh man, okay, well let's take a look at this fucking view, man.
Here we are.
The audio might be a little windy, but we're on the top of a fucking skyscraper, so what do you want?
What can you do?
Yeah, I could not look more like a tourist as of right now, because I've got my Kenya shirt on. Love this place.
Pretty crazy.
I don't want to go home. This place is fucking wonderful, because we have to go home to problems. Problems. All this country. Yeah. This country that we've been mocking the problems of back in England, just like all those people back in England dealing with this. That's going to be us tomorrow.
Have to deal with it. And I'm going from all the lovely people here to just the bitterness of back home. I mean, we should probably talk about that snake handler, considering we were going to last time.
Oh yeah. Brought it up on the Masai Mara podcast, but missed it out on this one. We were at the snake park in Nairobi National Museum. Guy, very friendly, so it's like, hey, you want to come see a snake? And it's like, cool, yeah, we want to come see a snake. Just takes us into the back, brings out a snake, and I'm like, oh shit, okay. And there's a snake, and the guy says oh yeah, you want to see little chameleons? And it's like there's all these little chameleons in the centre, and I have one on my arm, and he's cool, he's friendly. Then the guy offers to show us black mamba, which is a very, very poisonous snake. Hey, random tourist who have got no experience in snake handling, do you want to hug with a really, really poisonous snake?
After telling us that it takes only 5 minutes for a black mamba's bite to kill.
Yeah, it was at that point we realised this dude might be
a little unhinged.
Yeah.
Friendly enough.
Yeah, friendly. He seemed like a nice guy. Yeah. But I don't think we should be handling a black mamba. But fucking hell, this view, man. This view.
Yeah.
This is breathtaking to Nairobi.
We'll do a little wander around so we can.
Yeah, we can do a little wander around. Do we want to give some thoughts on the UK election? We've not really been talking about it this week because we've
stuck our fingers in our ears going la la la.
Well, I thought we'd be more so than that, because I think we'd all decided that I was kind of fine with it, just a slim Tory victory, and okay, that's fine, whatever, I guess, but can't hope for much more. But when we were on the Masai Mara, the third morning, we were just waking up to elephants, lions, that beautiful lying on the rock, and just such iconic imagery, and the news that it was a hung parliament, nobody won, and yay,
great morning,
delicious chaos. Theresa May can't command a majority, Corbyn can't command a majority, it's all I don't know, it was the highest turnout, but I feel like everybody was rejected, the rejection was the election was somewhat rejected by the majority, as in nobody really was that enthusiastic about, apart from I guess diehard Corbyn supporters, but you always get that with opposition.
Yeah, I've never come across a diehard May supporter. I've come across proper Tories, but no one that genuinely likes Theresa May.
That's why I don't buy into the hype too much of the public mandate behind Corbyn. It's more people got out and voted for May just to avoid having a Corbyn government. Mm-hmm. So that should say something, that you're willing to take Theresa May and the kind of nightmare authoritarianism she comes with just to avoid socialism, which I understand. I understand on two levels. Socialism should be rejected on so many levels for so many good reasons, but also people who've been living on the breadline recently under the Tories and victim to a lot of the changes in the DWP, I can understand why they want to get the Tories out, because that must be shit time, and obviously the Conservatives have no idea of what it's like to be in that sort of position, and
Yeah, exactly. They just have such a loose grip on the actual reality of the average person that it's hard to even reconcile.
What was the tweet? If Theresa May can tell me what the inside of Lidl looks like, then I'll vote for her.
Yeah.
Nope.
It's pretty telling.
Not even
close.
Yeah.
But I guess all in all, it was very much just a protest election, in that everyone was sort of voting to get people out rather than to get people in. Or to keep people from getting about. Exactly.
I was very tempted to vote Tory just to keep Corbyn out of power, because I see that kind of thing, especially as a time tumultuous as now with going into the Brexit negotiations. I just view that as very, very dangerous. But I just couldn't, in the end, I really, really couldn't. I couldn't bring myself to vote Tory. It just seemed like there was a massive scar on my soul that would just not be prepared.
You'd have felt dirty afterwards.
Oh my God, yeah. If Theresa May had got a majority and just started doing all the things I disagree with, all the kind of scary authoritarian shit that she peddles.
Fucking Snoopers Charter expansions.
Yep. Snoopers Charter, by the way, Jeremy Corbyn on the Snoopers Charter abstained like a little pussy.
I was reading
no
about
objection.
this last night, actually. He abstained from the vote, and the fact that back in the sort of 2010 coalition government, when it sort of first came to light about a lot of these surveillance laws and internet restrictions, the Labour Party were very much against it until they were exempt from it. And as soon as that happened, they were very much for it.
Oh yeah, Labour and Conservatives, they are very authoritarian, both of them. They both push through authoritarian legislation.
Yeah.
It's all pretty bad.
Should we take a walk that way?
Yeah, let's take a little walk around.
See some more of this view while talking about these awful things.
Yeah. So, basically the result is Tories have lost their majority.
Yay!
Which is kind of a nice thing. DUP somewhat support. I mean, the last time this really happened was, in 1979 did Callaghan lose his majority via by-elections, and there was a sort of brief Lib-Lab coalition. And 1974 I think was a big one when they had to do another election in October. But
we might see history repeating itself in this case.
Yes, but that's kind of pathetic, isn't it? Like everybody on the continent does coalition governments all the time, but why can't we fucking handle it?
Because we're too proud, and we've got ridiculous first past the post system.
Yeah, we can't go with democracy.
No. We want a people's mandate. We just clearly love.
But hardly any of it is people's mandate, because
not at all.
It's like, well, people say like, oh, Corbyn got the people's mandate. It's like, 30% of the vote. Like May 36%. Tories 36% of the vote, which is actually more than Labour got in 2005, which I believe was 35% of the vote. So no, in our system, I don't think anybody ever has a right to claim, oh, the people got behind me, and especially with tactical voting, like. And everybody's voting for different reasons, usually to vote against.
Yeah.
So,
exactly.
Yeah.
It was a very negative election, generally, I found.
Yeah, it was. Like, I didn't like any of it, and the media were fucking pathetic all the way through it.
Of course they were.
Like, harping the same old lines. Everybody was repeating the same old bullshit rhetoric. None of it was true. There wasn't a real examination of the issue. Yeah. Like, coalition of chaos.
This whole ridiculous soundbite politics that the Tories seem to have just jumped upon.
Labour not above. Let's be fair. Both of them suck ass.
Yeah, but like, just this whole repeated mantras of strong as able.
Yeah.
People's mandate. It's like one of those mock videos of like Trump saying China, that actually happened. And I find it kind of ironic that everything Theresa May ran on, strong and stable, like against a coalition of chaos, wanted a strong mandate to go into Brexit negotiations with. She doesn't have any of those things anymore.
Nope.
She's chopped off her arm.
The complete admission of guilt. I mean, you should resign right away.
Immediately.
Yeah, with that kind of rejection.
She called the fucking election.
And you had such... at some polls it was like 50% to 25%.
Yeah, she was like 24 points up when she called it.
But then thinks like, ooh, okay, I know what people love. Let's regulate the internet. Let's erase people's privacy.
Let's just repeat.
Let's get on Alzheimer's patients. Yeah. Let's abuse the elderly and the poor. Yay!
And let's refuse to be held accountable for any of this. Refuse to show up on any sort of TV appearance unless it's a one-on-one interview.
Yep.
In which case, all you're going to do is just repeat your talking points anyway. You're not going to go into any sort of substance.
Yep.
Or breakdown and
then respond to the Manchester and London attacks by saying like, "Oh, this is the cause for more internet regulation." And the thing that really annoyed me, going back to the media, is they didn't press on this, like, because she's been Home Secretary, she's been Prime Minister, so she has accountability for this going back to 2010. So why wasn't she pressed on any of the decisions she made throughout this? None of the media pressed her on this. They asked, "What's the naughtiest thing you've ever done?" And that was the focus. That's what
she lied there as well. She said running through a cornfield when clearly it's all the horrible shit she did as Home Secretary was the naughtiest thing she's ever done.
Nah. Yeah, like pushing the Snoopers Charter. Like, awful, so Defra can read my fucking emails.
Good lord.
But, there was no pressing of that. There was no kind of in-depth analysis into the issues. It was just sort of people repeating the same old bullshit to each other.
Business as usual.
Yeah, British democracy is absolutely pathetic at the moment.
And you saw...
mainstream political dialogue is pathetic.
And you saw people from pretty much every party trying to channel aspects of populism.
Oh god, yeah. I don't know. The stuff I guess that affected me most, being like the age I am, is like all the kind of like Corbyn fanboys that are around out there. Just for fuck's sake, like I hate the idea that I'm in my 20s and I'm supporting an old socialist candidate. That makes me so edgy and unique. Ooh, and it's like, yeah, it's not like everybody in their early 20s has done that for the past 50 fucking years. And just think like they read a bunch of sort of like old school socialist politics from the 19s that was implemented in the 1970s to massive disaster, and think like, ooh, I'm so edgy, these are such new ideas. It's like, they're old ideas, they've been tried, tested, fucking failed so many times. He's not bringing fresh ideas to the table, he's trying to rehash old ones that have already failed.
Yeah, I mean, I voted Labour, but purely as a tactical move. Like, on an ideological level, and just looking at their manifesto, I wasn't very impressed. But again, it was just a case of least worst thing, and like, in my eyes, I'd rather have the Tories lose the seat that they're in, which they didn't, so it was kind of wasted anyway, than any other alternative. Ideologically, I line much more up with the Lib Dems, but unfortunately they shot themselves in the foot as well by going on about this whole second referendum bollocks.
Yeah, that was, I think, yeah, okay, hey, you know that thing that people voted 52% against us for? Let's harp on and try and get some votes on that 48% that are pretty disenfranchised right now and don't actually care as much. Like, the support for, second referendum, reverse Brexit, is not really that high right now.
No, it's dwindling. Like, again, I voted Remain, but I'm also of the opinion that the people have voted to leave, and that's just what's going to happen now.
I voted leave, in case you've never had any interaction with me before whatsoever.
Yeah, the proceedings have gone underway, like the process kicked off. Trying to stop it now would just be A, career suicide, B, hugely detrimental to the country.
Yep.
Because the only way to create more uncertainty in this whole Brexit fiasco is to just keep flip-flopping backwards and forwards and not make our fucking mind up. At least if we commit to the idea, we can try our best to come out on top as best
Precisely.
we can.
Yeah, that's the mature standpoint from anybody who was in another Remain position before. Like, yeah, people voted, let's make this work.
Yeah.
Rather than, the Lib Dems totally shot themselves in the foot with that, which is
such a shame because they're
fucking idiots.
They ran on such a good platform otherwise.
Like, I used to be a Lib Dem. I ran for city council for them when I was 18 in 2011 as well. And it's so frustrating about the party because they can have such great ideas that sort of like buck the franchise, and they've got some of the only true libertarian policies that I see being circulated in Parliament. But then what they choose to focus on is so unimportant, and just like for a lot of their ideological whimsy. Like, they think, the voters will be so sold on this sort of stuff if we compromise on stuff that actually like affects their lives drastically.
That's the thing. And I do like Tim Farron. I think he's an interesting character, but I saw some absolutely cutting tweet. I can't remember who it was by.
You're a populist that's not very popular.
Yeah,
that one.
For someone running on a populist platform, you're not very popular, which just sums it up, really. But I mean, they gain seats, so.
It's gained seats from 8.
It's an increase. It's something. You gotta take what you can get when you're a fringe party in this ridiculous first past the post system.
Poor Nick Clegg lost his seat.
Yeah, he's out. Oh.
It's hard, like one political disaster.
It's a shame. Like, in a different timeline, he could have been an excellent PM, but he just tarred his name forever with the whole student thing.
I agree.
Which was sad, because I think he did quite a good job at holding Cameron to account.
Somewhat, yeah.
I mean, the Lib Dems sort of managed to hold back the tide of the Snoopers Charter for a couple of years.
Yeah.
And then, we know how that's gone.
I don't know, I've got a lot of respect for him as well as a fellow language nerd, because he's mastered 5 languages so well. Mm-hmm. He's really good at it.
Although he was on that list of MPs that have accepted money from private health care corporations. So
most people have accepted money from somebody, sort of thing.
But
just accepting money is a subjective term.
Yeah, it depends on context entirely as well. So.
Yep.
It's a shame, but I'd love for the Lib Dems to come, for someday, hopefully in my lifetime, to become an actual opposition party.
Yeah, because then they would sort of force through some kind of electoral reform, rather than settling for a referendum on AD, which was stupid, especially in that time. And, oh man, that's going to make me so angry thinking about then. I campaigned on it, and yeah, the reception from the start of it to the end of it was so different. Everybody was so positive at the start. It looked so ahead in the polls. And then just a fear campaign. Like, a bunch of lords would finance a horrible, horrible, bitter fear campaign and endlessly associated with Nick Clegg. Oh, my God. Yeah, well, it was horrible.
I think now, following this election, would be the time more than ever for all of the fringe parties, and Labour, to capitalise on going for electoral reform, because I saw this really interesting map the other day that was sort of a projected look at what the seat outcome would be in this election if we had PR, and it was a lot of a closer race, and it seems ridiculous to me. Like, a party like the Greens can get, I think, over 1 million votes, one seat.
Yep, when they've earned their place as a political entity, and also like when you actually have positions of power, that opens up to more criticism as well. Like, let's hear the Greens' ideas, let's criticise them, let's see if what work, what don't, and that's how they get better ideas as well, rather than just promising insane shit. Because like Greens have like some very good things to contribute to discussion, but they also have some absolute bollocks policies.
Yeah, but they shouldn't just be completely ignored as part of our system. I mean,
yeah, exactly. There should be a voice at the table.
And the fact that they've got 1 million voices clamouring for them, one seat of representation, which means that they're just not going to get listened to in any sense of the word.
Well, the thing is, what we would need is an absolute constitutional overhaul, which I think we desperately need, because we don't have a codified constitution in Britain, which is like really to our detriment, especially when it comes to human rights. We have parliamentary sovereignty. Like, an act of parliament could change absolutely anything about your life. Like, remember, if Blair tried to bring in 90 days detention without trial, like, thank fuck that failed.
Oh, good lord.
But like, just completely tearing up any form of habeas corpus we once had.
What a nightmare.
But yeah, we need a Bill of Rights. We need a constitution. Like, I think I told you before, like, my ideal model of government is a House of Commons elected by a single transferable vote, which is a PR system, and that would be about sort of like 400, 500 MPs elected proportionally, and then a House of Lords, like, restore prestige to the Lords rather than just like giving fucking any to like Andrew Lloyd Webber or whatever,
and all this hereditary bollocks of just passing it down in the family.
Just completely do away with that. Have 100 Lords and have them elected by AV for individual regions. So people say about, if we get PR, we'll lose that constituency MP connection. Ooh, as if we really cared that much about it anyway. But then we have our local Lord. How cool is that?
There's that whole argument against sort of representative democracy, and that it was dreamt up hundreds of years ago when we didn't have the communications infrastructure we did now, and it was a way of sending someone as an amalgamation of all their electorate's views to go and represent them. But now it's not that, because MPs just get born and bred in sort of Westminster, go to Eton, they go to Oxford, Cambridge,
work as a special advisor, which means working for free in London for several years,
and then get dropped into a safe seat.
Yep.
That's, it's not representative,
and that happens in both parties as well.
Do you know what? I know Lord Buckethead is seen as a protest candidate who, in my opinion, is absolutely fantastic. But point, I think 14 of his manifesto, I think it's 14 or 8, where he says that MPs have to have actually lived in their constituency for 5 years, is actually a really good point. And if that gets co-opted, I will be very happy.
Well, this is the era of the memes, so...
Lord Buckethead has memed himself into oblivion, my lord.
It could happen.
I think my favourite picture of 2017 so far is at the Maidenhead vote count, Theresa May standing on the end, looking very concerned and like she's about to burst into tears, with dozens of candidates standing on the stage, including Lord Buckethead and fucking Elmo. Which just the fact that
2017
the very fact that the people are going to so much efforts just as a middle finger to Theresa May.
All the world's a
such a joyous time to be alive.
Yep. But hey, actually, in my system, because I would go for separation of powers, which is an absolute joke that we don't have in our system. Like, elect the executive separately. Lord Buckethead could get in there.
Exactly. Rather than elect the leader, the party elects the leader and the people elect the party.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, what are the Tories going to do now?
I'd hope get some kind of coup on the go and get David Davis.
Yeah, well, because Theresa May.
Well, if they want to call another election, then they'd be walking into suicide if they had Theresa May on that.
She is in a very difficult position right now, and good. She deserves to be.
Yep.
Brought this entirely upon herself. I saw something really good the other day, which basically described the Tory party as an absolute monarchy, where regicide is the only way that power changes hands. So I'm imagining Boris is sharpening his knives at the moment. Gove has already, like when he was appointed as Environmental Secretary the other day, he said something along the lines of, I think Theresa May is doing a great job at the moment, which seems to me to be a little bit of a jab and to suggest that, I don't know, she's...
Bojo can't get too significant though, because he has some fucking skeletons in his closet.
Oh yeah.
That can be used against. I think those kind of things, those people have been involved in that much. They can be kept down. Anyway, let's do another little circle. Let's keep seeing this beautiful, beautiful city, this wonderful, wonderful view.
Here it is.
It's truly, truly fucking breathtaking. I love Nairobi. It's such a great city.
So positive. Shame we've got to go back to London.
I know, right? Well, you have to go back to London. I can go back to Nottingham at least. Yay, Nottingham.
And London currently is quite literally burning down, unfortunately.
That looked horrible.
Terrible tragedy.
Horrible. Yeah, I was really hoping that there wouldn't be casualties, but hearing reports of that, I hope some fucking landlords are going to do some serious prison time now.
Yeah. Well, you read those reports of the homeowners association in that flat. Back there was a big post on a forum for them back in November last year saying that there's been some serious negligence of the landlord. The fact that there was only one exit on the building that was under serious disrepair, and that they've ignored all requests to sort of hear it out and do something about it. So I think Robert Black is the guy who's the head of the landlord association.
Yeah,
he is not going to see freedom for a very long time, I hope.
Yeah, I hope so. There needs to be some serious punishment for that.
Criminal negligence.
That's just like new levels of arseholery. Going back to there it's been such a nice trip though. Yeah, like Lake Nakuru and Lake Naivasha yesterday was so cool.
What an experience.
So cool.
What a birthday.
Yeah, that was a pretty good way to turn 24, man.
Oh yeah.
And the boat ride, just going out and we listened back to some of the audio for the podcast segments we recorded out there. It was really many thanks to Peter and Thomas for contributing. It was great to get those local insights.
When we get home, we're just going to have to go straight into editing mode and just relive the glory days and try and ignore the fact that our nation is in utter chaos.
It's going to be thankfully our flight's back are alright. Like, it's just sort of an overnight one, although it's going to be really weird getting home from such a long trip at like 11 in the morning. Just and then I've had that a couple of times coming back from the States.
Isn't it 7 a.m?
Well, as in like get back home. As in, I'm probably going to be in Nottingham at like 11, and it's just like, I've got a whole day ahead of me. I can't just sort of crash now with the tiredness. But I don't know. Wait, hey, it's better than flight we took back. God damn.
Next to a crying baby.
Turkish Airlines. Avoid. He saved £100 on this when he's booking the flights. We sort of had like an intense conversation about it. Like, these flights are going to be shit. Really, do not book these. They're going to be terrible. Really inconvenient timing, and like a layover in Istanbul, and god damn, and he was right. They confiscated his power bank as well, and they
confiscated his power bank. They tried to not let him take his laptop on board.
Yeah, they tried to confiscate his laptop overall, but like didn't they like store it in the front or whatever?
They wrapped it in fucking foil and stored it in like a safe or a locker or something that he couldn't access for the entire flight. Like, what the fuck are they playing at? Like, everybody has a laptop. What do they think he's going to try to do?
Fuck Turkish Airlines. Turkey is one of those countries I take an opportunity to dick on at all times.
Well, and on the flight, he was next to a crying baby with two parents who were asleep and flight attendants that wouldn't do anything about it. So
at least with like British Airways, Virgin Atlantic and stuff, they are pretty well trained with that sort of thing.
Ultimately, it sounds pretty damn hellish. Yep.
Well, ours is just sort of like the one here as well. Just 8.5 hour flight direct from London, Heathrow. Heathrow, a very well functioning airport.
Exactly.
Istanbul sounds shit, and he said that the's nowhere to like sit down as well.
Yeah. Although saying Heathrow's a nice airport, I'm really not looking forward to standing in that passport control queue.
It'll be fine. It'll be quick.
I've got that little chip in it that lets you just go through pretty quick. So.
Yep.
Wouldn't be too bad.
Let's just sort of soak up some lovely Nairobi.
Yeah. So let's go for a bit of hope. What's your hope for the land of Great Britain following this disastrous chaos?
My hope is that the government. Okay, my optimism is that we maintain this kind of minority government stuff. Both leaders continue to make absolute fools of themselves. a lot of chaos happens and nothing gets done in government, and all the solutions come from all the wonderful people outside government who actually make a difference that don't get the credit.
Yeah.
Because I think, the large things that make a difference in this country. Yeah, it really is. Because I think like people working in the NHS are the ones who really make a difference to it, not politicians. Politicians just
Shout
use
out to my parents.
Yeah, all of those.
NHS, born and bred.
Anybody contributing on that front, they're the ones who truly make a difference, rather than the politicians who kind of use it as a political football and fuck shit up occasionally and make things hard for everyone. And same in the education system. It's good teachers, good head teachers, good kind of like NGOs who are making a difference, working good programs. Shout out to Benny at Teach First. Those kind of programs. I'd say those are the ones who give me optimism.
Anyone that sort of holds the government to account and accounts for their incompetencies.
Well, just look at it. Like, what's really improved life in Britain over the last 50 years? Like, they haven't come from government. This doesn't come from politics. Like, it's the old Andrew Breitbart mantra. Like, politics is always downstream from culture. Everything changes in the people who are in the know first, and culture always changes and shifts before politics. Politics is always playing catch up. Yeah,
every time.
Mainly because our politicians are so fucking out of touch.
Well, the whole draconian look at how the Tories view the internet is like exemplary of that.
Oh yeah, the way Cameron used to talk about it was amazing. Like, you could get a group of nerds could convince him that the way to regulate the internet is consult and bring a sacrifice to the gods on the top of Mount Olympus, who control the entirety of the internet.
Oh, that's how the internet works.
If I was an aide, I would totally pull that shit. Because he clearly has no fucking idea. That man has not done a Google in his life.
Nope. I bet he's Googled himself many times. You get what I mean. It's a sad state of affairs when I'm actually longing for the days of Cameron again. As terrible as he was during his time, and I loathed the man. Good lord, this shows how far we've fallen in such a short amount of time.
It's really hard to find politicians you don't loathe, though.
Yeah.
It really is. I mean, so much loathing for so many of them. But hey, it's just, I hope they just decline in significance.
Yeah.
I really do. It's just a shame we had to pay for them so much.
Well, good thing this magic money tree exists to keep upping their pay. Don't know what they do without that.
Yep.
Year on year.
But hey, fuck disabled people, huh?
Yeah. But it just seems to be this magic pot of gold that we can pull from every time we want to throw bombs at another country in the Middle East.
Yep. The money tree is always available for some of the stupidest programs, but not so much for essentials. Or,
no. Well,
I don't know. It's I don't think the solution is covered by either of the two main parties. I guess my optimism is Lib Dems instituting some kind of democratic reform and like a big shake-up, and we get a constitution. Then,
that would be the ultimate.
A lot of things would have to shift in Britain. Like, I think our problems don't begin and end with government. I think our problems are long-lasting. I think the kind of cultural underclass we create post-Thatcher that gave so many people a lack of direction, and the decline of moral fibre in Britain, I think, is just
and a huge so prominent. It's a global phenomenon, but this push towards anti-intellectualism
hugely.
The Isaac Asimov quote is, "My ignorance like trumps your knowledge in a democracy."
And it's scary how many educators identify as Marxists. Like, just too much. I mean, Marx is a fucking hack. He really is. He's an intellectual, and his ideas are shit. Maybe had a couple of good critiques of capitalism and its follies, but capitalism can adapt. Establishing all this authoritarianism is fucking crazy.
And to paint it as some sort of utopia is...
Oh god, yeah, and people say, it's not real communism. It's like, yeah.
Well, what is?
Well, my idea would be communism. If I was all dictator, I would usher in a fucking utopia.
If I had unlimited power.
All these stupid people in their like 30s and older, like
I'm the enlightened one, right?
I'm the enlightened one because I've read a couple of like YouTube interpretations of.
I read some posts on the internet, and now I'm an expert.
Yeah, and plus I like this imagery. This hammer and sickle imagery that for some reason isn't connected with the genocide it initiated and caused, and the mass famine and endless political murders.
It's kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, no, Mao and Stalin, they didn't do anything wrong, ever. They were all wonderful.
They were the biggest, have the biggest death counts in history.
Yep. It's completely fine. Politically sanctioned murder, as long as you have free healthcare and education. But
it always comes, as we were talking about last night. You get a lot of these die-hard communists are the ones that have no real direction in life,
they're neats. Not in education or training.
And no direction, no purpose, no.
And they love the kind of narrative where everything is an alternative collective responsibility.
Yeah, where they just like to have all this shit handed to them. They don't have to change themselves in the slightest. Whereas under actual communist rule, they'd be rounded up and sent to the work camps.
Yeah, you get into the steel factory proletariat. Yeah. It's amazing how these people will hum the whole the workers. You never worked a fucking day in your life, you stupid commie. Get a fucking haircut and get a shower. And learn how to work your fucking oven. Okay, I'm getting a bit too specific here. I don't know if he listens to the podcast still.
I wonder.
And it's just a lot of these people who buy into leftism. I mean, this pure anecdotal fallacy, but it's the reason I started really moving away from leftism and being really critical of it as an ideology. It's just everybody I knew who adhered to it, like the feminists, I guess you call them the SJWists, the communists, the people who like to pretend they're anarchists but are actually far leftists and real authoritarians. They were just the most useless people. They just wanted this absolute victim status, this endless circle of explaining away everything. I've rationalised why I'm a massive failure. It's not the fact that I didn't try hard at all.
It's the system.
It's all the
system needs an overhaul, not me.
Yep. And what's your way of changing the system? I'm going to share all these posts that make me seem like I care, and I'm going to be angry, and I'm going to wear all this imagery, and I'm going to rallies that really annoy people and cost a shit ton in taxpayer money, and just make everybody's life a little worse to my extent.
Contribute nothing. Bring everyone down a little bit, and just.
But be self-righteous about it. Contribute nothing. Call yourself an activist.
Yeah.
Oh my god, there's so many fucking vegan ones that I hate. I'm a vegan, but I'm a vegan, but vegan activism in general, it's just so self-masturbatory. It's annoying.
Well done me. What a good person I am for doing this thing.
Sanctimonious cunts. They're not really looking at it the issue. I was open to it for so long, but it's just so ineffectual for a lot of them.
I really like the Jordan Peterson approach. You want to change the world? Sort yourself out. Yep. That's the best way to do it.
Sort yourself out, be a good model, and discuss ideas, formulate ideas, and push them on. I don't know any single person who became vegan because of I saw this protest, I saw this video of a woman crying and shrieking about an egg, and that made me think hey, these people might have a good idea. It's no, you sort of are open to the idea, you research it, and then you participate. That's how you win people over. Protesting and direct action, again, is the most ineffectual form of policy change. It's so fucking ineffectual. And also, if you're protesting against the government policy, that just makes them reaffirm, because they can't legitimize protest as something that actually changes things. Because if they do, then more protests. More protests. I can't. It's
just a never-ending cycle. There's always going to be people that are dissatisfied with something and feel the need to just voice their opinions on the matter.
I mean, it's sort of youth angst that's always really. I mean, I dated a girl who was an anarchist for a while. Well, she said she was an anarchist, but actually far leftist. And I talked with some of her friends who were around it, and they just made me realise these are people who get off and fight in the police. That's really it. They were talking about enthusiasm, and they sort of the thing did you see? I kicked his shield. I'm such a badass.
Well, and Antifa with their whole let's go kick some Nazis' heads in.
Yeah, by disrupting this moderate conservative speaker going up to the Jew Ben Shapiro, and calling him a white supremacist Nazi, and it's
anti-Semite, It's do you know who you're talking to?
They don't know. Well, they go to these rallies, they don't know, and I saw this thing, there was this leftist protest in the US, and they just sort of asked them, where do you get your news? A lot of them were fucking satirists, and it's satirists aren't a legitimate news source.
The Daily Show, and Last Week Tonight with John Oliver, and it's they're not news sources, they're entertainment.
Yeah, entertainment and perpetual.
They are.
And perpetual virtual signaling. I mean, getting any of your views from celebrities who do acting like professional egotistical wankers a lot of the time.
Oh, John Oliver, how you've fallen from grace.
Yep.
He used to do some great investigative journalism pieces, and
the televangelist stuff was really good.
I don't know if it's him pushing it or HBO pushing it, but either way, his show's just gone off the deep end. And the whole fact that the whole tax scandal with him, abusing tax loopholes on his property as well, and spends his whole show dicking on the elite, and it's like, dude, you're the fucking elite.
Yeah, that's the thing people lose with this kind of like when they worship Hollywood people for being, ooh, they're so woke.
Just because they're left doesn't mean they're not elite.
And they're so isolated from fucking reality. Why do we look to these people for having good ideas? They know fuck all about reality. They're surrounded by private security all the time. They are constantly pandered to. They can get whatever they want because they've got endless financial means.
They've got fuck you money.
Yeah, and they're just around a bunch of pretentious twats who think they're amazing all the time, and people who tell them they're amazing all the time. Like, just so why do we give them the arrogance? Yeah.
Oh, it's just
like, especially like, well, the people who pass for musicians these days, as in someone who was selected by a marketing machine to be marketed and given the right songs by songwriters, and just for some reason struck a chord with the various radio companies and whatever. And all of a sudden they're an authority on issues, like complex societal issues that intellectuals have been trying to solve for fucking decades.
That's something that really fucked me off about not just this election but the whole Brexit vote as well. It was like, oh, look who's voting Remain. All of these cool people. Look at who's voting Leave. All these shit people. I've made my mind up then.
Who do you want to be a part of?
Do you want to be cool or shit? And it's like, do your fucking research.
And it's like I don't give a fuck which way a celebrity is voting. Like, it doesn't mean fucking anything to me.
Yeah, like that's sort of reason to vote for it. It's just disgusting.
Oh, it is, and it's a culture of celebrity worship.
But the fact that, well, we should probably talk about, this probably leads quite nicely into the youth vote, of the fact that...
Fuck the youth vote. Sorry, like, low turnout should be among the youth. Like, youths generally don't know as much. They don't know as much history.
They can just be bought and sold with just the most basic ideas.
Free university! Woo! That sounds nice!
Well, the fact, something that really did strike me as, like, massive pandering was, like, must have been a week or two before the election, Corbyn announced that student fees would retroactively be like student debt would be retroactively written off.
Bollocks!
I'd be like, how the fuck? Come on!
Bollocks!
You're just pandering massively there.
Yep.
Come on.
It's basically it's what Lib Temps did in 2010. They did all that kind of pledge to try and get the student vote.
Yeah.
It's I don't get this whole idea of why we need to constantly embrace the youth as a political entity. Just if you're in your 20s and all this stuff, be fucking humble. Like,
except that you don't know anything.
Yeah, you don't. You're figuring shit out. Like, sort of discuss ideas.
That's fine. But don't act like the authority on these things.
Yeah, and don't like that. Like, the youth vote is incredibly, vitally important. Like, certainly more so than. More so than anybody who's sort of actually got some like life experience. Like, when you've had to live on your own means, when you've had to pay taxes, when you've had to work a job, when you've had to like work in like maybe a part of the public sector, when you've dealt with like councils, when you've dealt with like police, public services, and you have some kind of fucking understanding of how all these things work. I mean, rather than pure fucking ignorant rhetoric and populism and just virtue signaling on Facebook, like, fuck you all.
I do understand the argument that the youth vote is sort of there to counteract the pensioner vote, where you've got a lot of these really out of touch, non-modernised pensioners that haven't adapted to the modern world, who are still stuck in very old ways, and like the youth vote is a way of sort of mediating and balancing that out and making the playing field a bit more even, more than just this like massive.
I guess, but I think it's a bit
older generation.
But yeah, you can't really dismiss them.
Dismiss them.
Yeah, you can't dismiss either way completely.
No.
But
it does make it a little bit more of an even playing field, I'd say.
Yeah, and I hate this fucking idea, like all the social media campaigns of like, go out and vote. You have to vote. It's the cool thing to do. It's like, fuck off. I don't care about voter turnout. And there's better things to do than vote.
Yeah.
Really, there's better contributions you can make to it. People only have like limited mental capacity to deal with issues and like understand things in the world. And if you're doing something else to contribute to the world, and you're not really like keeping up to date with what with party politics and stuff, that's fine. That is fine. Go do your thing.
Yeah, right. Let's use Australia as an example. They have mandatory voting where they have like a 98% voter turnout, but you get a lot of the case where people who are ignorant of politics, and sometimes willingly so, are forced to make a decision on something they know nothing about, and so you end up with a skewed result of people where you force people to vote a way that they. Like, maybe they just don't want to vote, maybe they don't want to participate, and that's probably better.
Pretty fucking cycling.
It's just, yeah.
Well, it's fine. It's just like, yeah, if you've not really investigated the issues and stuff, like, it's fine not to vote. Like, I hate these fucking people bullying people to vote, because what they mean when go out and vote, they mean go out and vote for my candidate.
Yeah, go out and
That's
vote
what
for
they
the guy
mean.
that I want.
Yeah, that's why they target it to specific demographics. They don't say vote whatever, they just say vote.
And you get all this, around election time, you get this wave of political activists coming out of the woodwork on Facebook. Like the vote is the only way of changing anything. Like, everything comes down to this vote. Run for local council, do some other do some political activism, join an NGO, do some other shit, find an issue you care about, and
or actually investigate the intricacies of a policy.
Yeah, don't just it's so lazy to assume that, oh, I went out and voted, good on me, what a great political citizen I am. If you care that much, do more. There's always more to do. Fucking volunteer in your local community. I don't that's going to have more effect than your vote.
Yep. It's it's pretty fucking bollocks. But I don't know. It's amazing. Like, I'm not as mad as I once was. Just looking out at this. This is quite cool.
every time I get a bit too spirited and a bit like bile coming out,
look at lovely Nairobi. Lovely Nairobi.
Lovely Nairobi. I'm gonna miss it.
I really am. Like, the wonderful thing about Kenya and Kenyans is, like, I've not got a hint of aggression from anybody here.
No. Well, other than my police encounter.
Oh, but there was more aggression in your head, like, interpretively.
I was just a bit paranoid of walking alone at midnight and being a white guy in a very...
Yeah, it was fine. Wait, do we retell the story?
Nah.
Or it's on the Masai Mara podcast. Is it on the Masai Mara? Yeah, it's on the Masai Mara one. But, I find, like, every driver we've met, every sort of person dealing in a shop, or like just a little friend we made, it's
everyone's been so nice.
They really, really have. It's such a welcoming and nice, kind city, and everybody's so willing to talk to you.
Gonna miss these people.
I really, really am. Yeah, I'll make sure to come back soon. It's a beautiful, beautiful fucking place. What a skyline as well. It's
I think we've done a full 360 now.
Yeah, this kind of CBD district over here. Little skyscrapers, and also this is one country economically I'm very positive about the future of. I'm very, very optimistic about Kenya.
Lots of good things happening here.
Yep, they're really, especially like their telecoms. I mean, look up the history of M-Pesa and Safaricom and just how world leading they even are in that.
I mean, PayPal robbed them of their money transfer system.
Yeah, they had those before us. It's
their telecoms system is ridiculous. Right in the middle of the Serengeti in the Masai Mara National Park, I was getting a phone signal just on Safaricom SIM card, like literally in the middle of nowhere. It was pretty great.
Excellent job, Kenya. You guys do a good country here.
You do you, Kenya. Keep you going. And then we can see the outcome of their election in August and see where it goes from there. But even then, both candidates are very positive looking and...
Well, depends. We won't talk about it too much here in public.
Yeah.
But still, tunapenda Kenya.
Tunapenda Kenya.
Yep.
Tunapenda Nairobi.
Tunapenda Nairobi, definitely. Tunapenda Nairobi sana.
Right, we're approaching the 45-minute mark. So.
Okay, cool. Yeah, we'll wrap this up and just sort of don't want to get a last shot of like the beautiful
establishing shot.
Cool.
Of the city we love.
All right. Okay, well, thank you very much, everybody. Asanteni sana kwa kusikiliza au kutazama kwenye punchstrongphilosophy.podbean. No, you kutazama on kwenye YouTube and you kusikiliza kwenye punchstrongphilosophy.podbean.com. Cool.
All right.
Asanteni sana.